Hainan Island is China's largest tropical island. And the fantastic coastline, unknown seafloor, noisy wharf and busy harbour underscore the Chinese people's unique feelings for the ocean. Every day, the people living in this corner of China mainly make their living from the sea. Li Changfang and Li Changbo are brothers and inherited their exquisite deep-sea fishing technique from their father as children. From the age of 6, Li Changfang was able to stay below the surface for a long time using an oxygen cylinder. According to his recollection, he has been making his living from deep-sea fishing for about 2 decades. The elder of the 2 brothers, Li Changbo, now rarely goes fishing at sea. During each fishing expedition, he mainly stays on the boat to ensure his brother's safety. The seemingly free Li Changfeng is actually battling with the ocean current. Finally, he dives to the 10-meter deep seafloor. However, Li Changfeng comes away empty-handed amid abandoned net cages and rotting shipwrecks. A shoal of fish comes into sight. Li Changfeng fires a spear towards his target but misses this time. Back on the boat, Li Changbo keeps alert all the time and must try to determine his younger brother's position from the bubbles reaching the surface of the water. Although the brothers have worked together like this for years, deep-sea fishing is always dangerous work. The prey appears again, and Li Changfeng is in a more calm frame of mind. Although the fish are not big, they will not go back empty-handed. Swimming up again is seemingly easy, but there are hidden dangers. Li Changfeng's home is not far from the coast. His father has dealt with the sea throughout his life, but can't dive down deep now because of previous injuries. But the older brother prefers to work ashore and has set up a motorcycle repair shop in the county. Li Changfeng still clings to the diving techniques inherited from the older generation and is still very interested in diving deep down into the sea. However, these days more of Li Changfeng's income comes from salvage diving than fishing. The vast sea resembles an expansive treasury and attracts people to explore and discover its secrets. It is not only a source of marine products, but also other inexhaustible resources. In Yanding Village, Danzhou City, Hainan, There is neither fertile farmland nor a good harbour, but the sea here has a high salt content. There is plenty of sun in the summer, and a lot of black Vesuvianite formed by volcanic eruptions millions of years ago. These are exceptionally good natural conditions, and the Yanding villagers' resourcefulness over thousands of years has led to the development of solar salt extraction techniques using Vesuvianite found on the beach. Each summer there will be a spring tide every 2 weeks, and the seawater surges over the beach and fills the reservoir along the water channel. This period is therefore the optimum season for the villagers of Yanding to extract sea salt from the sea. After daybreak, villager Zhou Sui Ni goes to her salt pan and starts her working day in the morning sunshine. She first piles the salt-bearing material into the corners of the salt pan, then uniformly sprays seawater from the reservoir into the salt pan. The timing is important, as even the slightest delay will cause the seawater to permeate into the salty material and affect the extraction of sea salt. Her husband, Li Shanghua, hurries to help. The saline residue in the corners of the salt pan is quickly sprayed. The complete solar salt extraction process takes 2 days, and thousands of years of accumulated experience has enabled the Yanding villagers to refine their solar salt extraction method. After a full day's work, the following day, Zhou Sui Ni pours the extracted brine, the raw material for solar salt, into a stone pit in a salt pond stacked with black Vesuvianite. When the saline residue and brine are in the salt pan and the pond, this stage of the work has come to an end. The next phase of the work will be done by the sun. And the villagers can take a break. Getting together and enjoying the cool shade under the old tree is their happiest time. After being steamed by the sun for the whole morning, the saline residue, which was previously soaked with water, gradually becomes dry. A delicate white powdery precipitation forms. Steamed by the scorching sun, the brine in the salt pond is quietly undergoing some changes. In the afternoon, the couple return to the salt pan in the baking heat. It takes their combined effort to accomplish the work. The saline residue is changing rapidly in the round hole covered with couch grass at the bottom of the pit. Seawater is poured in. After sufficient permeation and filtration, the brine slowly flows into the stone pit through the hole at the bottom. A night of sedimentation will turn the brine into the raw material for solar salt by the second morning. At night, the naturally heat-absorbing black Vesuvianite in the salt pond has been exposed to bright sunlight for 10 hours. The original transparent yellowish brine miraculously evaporates, forming milky crystals of salt. Sea salt is rich in natural minerals, and the villagers sell it in the surrounding area. as well as saving some for home consumption. The repetitive techniques used in solar salt production and fishing have been handed down over thousands of years. If there is no pressure from the outside world, these children, who have played in the water since childhood, will continue their parents' and grandparents' lifestyle. The sea is generous and bountiful. However, with overfishing and humans taking more and more, marine resources are becoming increasingly scarce. To the fishermen living by the sea, the tremendous risks are not always in direct proportion to the remarkable profits. The sea in Xinsun Lagoon, Lingshui County, Hainan, is home to China's little-known marine communities. They make a living from fishing and battle with the wind and waves. Their lifestyle cannot be guaranteed, and it is as fragile as an eggshell, so they call themselves the Dan family. As time passes, many members of the Dan family have tired of life at sea and have chosen to live on shore, seeking a more stable way of making a living. However, some members of the Dan family remain on the sea and continue to catch fish. Late in the afternoon, Dan family member Lao Shu is preparing to go out to sea. This crushed ice will be used to preserve the freshly caught fish. For years, his wife, Yang Jinrong, has insisted on going out to sea with Lao Shu. In this way, she can lend a hand and the couple can take care of each other. Although the gasoline-powered fishing boat vibrates heavily, Lao Shu thinks the sea will be calm and tranquil tonight. The fishing boat sails out of the port as the endless sea suddenly comes into view. They are about to face all the uncertainties the sea can throw at them. The fishermen will select the most suitable fishing methods according to the change in the seasons. After nightfall, they use a clever combination of traditional techniques and modern technology to achieve their goal. With the aid of a 10-meter-long bamboo pole, the powerful lights make the water green and transparent. The fishing boat's sonar can detect shoals of fish. Lao Shu slows down the boat and sails it in a circle, as his wife expertly casts the fishing net by hand at a constant speed along the circular vortex. Soon, a hoop with a diameter of nearly 20 meters forms on the sea, and just like moths being drawn to a flame, it's the fish's primitive instinct to pursue the light. Now the only thing left to do is wait quietly for a few minutes. Lao Shu and his wife begin to pull in the net, but without much success this time. Lao Shu has caught an entirely translucent, boneless fish, which can be sold after being dried. After several castings, they also pull in some sleeve fish, together with the boneless fish. Compared to the busy fishing season a few years ago, today's harvest appears to be negligible. The fishermen rely on the sea and are fully aware of the sea's regular patterns and behavior. Scientific development has minimized some of the natural risks. However, the number of fish in the sea has failed to increase, and sharp reductions in the harvest put Lao Shu under great pressure to make ends meet.
你住在海边，你就住在海边，靠海是海，你什么没有成本，你一定要坐一条船来靠打鱼，不打鱼干什么？你一定是打鱼的。我呀，我老家挺慢的。
Just going fishing on the sea cannot guarantee a living for the fishermen. However, the fishermen strive to make a living by fishing, because they were born to be on the sea, hunting for fish to bring back to shore. They are always looking for ways to make their livelihood more stable. Early in the morning, the fish market and wharf at Shinsun Lagoon, Lingshui County, Hainan, is as bustling as ever. Zhang Jinrong is a regular here, and today she is late, so there are not many fish left to buy. Although they are not well presented, Yang Jinrong buys 2 baskets of frozen hairtails. They will be taken back to her home on the sea. This is the unique fishing raft used by members of the Dan family. It has square-shaped net cages under a simple wooden deck box. To the Dan family, the fish in the net cages are a major source of income. The fish food is not for human beings, but for bigger flesh-eating fish. Despite being bred in captivity, these flesh-eating fish are still ferocious and haven't lost their primitive nature. The theory of survival of the fittest is evident among these fish. After being farmed for a minimum of 2 or 3 years and 5 or 6 years at most, these fish will become high-priced delicacies in Chinese cities. After years of waiting, the Dan family will usher in the joy of the harvest. Wuzhezhou, Sanya. The sea, with its regular water fluctuations, is not only home to many people, but is also a relaxing paradise for countless visitors. There is a white sandy beach on the island of Wuzhezhou, Sanya. The clear blue water and superior natural conditions draw in tourists from all over the world. Every morning, Li Changhan comes to Wuzhezhou Island on a cruise ship. With the development of tourism in Sanya, Li Changhan, whose ancestors made a living from fishing, decided to become a diving instructor, leading tourists into the unknown world. To ensure the safety of the visitors at the bottom of the sea, Li Changhan has to repeat the same routines every day. Compared with his previous fishing experience, the repetitive work of a diving instructor has brought many changes to Li Changhan's life.
这种变化就是说改变我的自己的生活，改变我的生活规律。现在虽然也辛苦，但是没有真正打鱼出海那么辛苦。毕竟这边每天有不同的各个地方的人接触，也可以学到很多东西。
There are more than 70 diving instructors like Li Changhan on Wuzhizhou Island, and most of them were once fishermen around this area.
大家好，欢迎你们来到蜈支洲岛体验潜水。潜水之前呢，给大家提几个注意事项。第一，呼吸的时候，我们是用嘴巴呼吸。
Li Changhan instructs more than a dozen people every day from all over the world. It is important to instruct the visitors properly before they dive.
如果耳朵不舒服。如果海底有什么危险的，看到教练这样的话，这危险啊，不要去碰。危险。还有一点比较重要的，要记住啊，海底的珊瑚是不能碰、不能摸的。
The visitors are amazed at the magical beauty of the underwater world. However, the old fisherman Li Changhan takes the changes in the times in his stride and still chooses to live by the sea and live his life in his own unique way. For tens of thousands of years, human beings have never fully tamed the sea, but will never stop trying. People who live near the sea are bound to come to rely on it. With the advances of the modern era, great changes have taken place in the ocean and in the lives of the people who live near the sea. Year after year, the residents living near the gem of the ocean, as well as their lives and thoughts, will gradually seek a new balance in the cycle of ebb and flow. On the map of China, mountains occupy a third of the land area. For thousands of years, living in the mountains was the most ancient and traditional living ideal of the Chinese people. The prodigious mountains are full of mystery and also bring abundant natural gifts to the people here.